you guys should be able to hear me now. We got about a 15-second delay on the stream. Gonna be going over a couple things. Hello everyone, Flying Cryptos here, and once people start tuning in, we will get going. So let me just real quick here, I am just going to post real quick that we are live. All right. Everything looks good. All right, so it's pretty dead right now. Gonna let some people get on. All right. I'll let some people get into the live stream before we get started, just so I can answer some questions. It is a Wednesday evening at 9 o'clock, so I don't anticipate there to be a lot of live viewers, but there's just some things that I really need to go over for Litecoin going into the next day or two. And I'm going to start off with Twitter and the US dollar, and we'll continue from there. What's going on, DIY? All right, viewers are now coming in. We got 7 people. Cool. We'll just wait a second, and while we do wait a second for some people to get in, I'm drinking this thing right now. It's a sour ale for anyone that likes sour ales. It's called Minky Boodle. That's what it looks like. It's a raspberry sour ale, and it is tart, and it's not too sweet. It's pretty damn good. So we'll start with that. Cheers, everyone. If you can, just hit the likes on the video. That helps a lot for YouTube, since this is separate from Twitter. And we'll get started here in a second. Any questions you guys have too, just drop them in the chat, and I'll be happy to go over them. So starting with the US dollar, look at this monstrous wick right here. That monster wick right there, that is pretty damn good. On the, looking at the US dollar right here, guys, we know that this is not good for Bitcoin prices, Litecoin prices. Whenever the dollar bounce, it's something we're going to be looking at. Also, we got the stock market. I'm just going to pull up the Dow Jones real quick. Just looking at this, we had this huge dump down. We had a little relief bounce, currently rejecting off the EMA 12. And who knows how this is going to open. We could just come right to new lows. We could set a higher low. A lot of uncertainty there. And going on to Bitcoin, we had a breakdown here. So what are we looking at? These are things that I'm going to be going over. Thank you for letting me know that you can't see it. So going back to the dollar. As you can see, the dollar, huge giant wick right here. That's what I was just talking about. And then going back to Bitcoin here, we had this breakdown. And we're currently sitting, watching patiently. We know that the bears maintained the high time frame downtrend, and there's 2 possibilities that we could be looking at for Bitcoin. Do we set a 4-hour higher low? Do we come down? Do we end up bouncing off this range? What I'll be looking for a possibility like that, and I'm going to lean with the fact that we will not see that happen, but if we do, and we just see a little bounce up like that, I would just ignore it. We're going to need some pretty serious momentum, get right back up to this level before we can say, okay, I think we might have a 4-hour uptrend being established here. maybe we can make some action on it and make an entry. But see, with everything going on with the stock market, looking at the dollar, and honestly, guys, a lot of people on Twitter are even targeting lower than me. There's people on there calling $30, $40, $50 Litecoin, which I don't think we're gonna hit. But I remember in the other live stream I talked about the worst possible case scenario, where a breakdown in the LTC BTC chart and then Bitcoin dumping and Litecoin bleeding much harder. It's possible we could see, in the worst case scenario, the way I see it, about $50. But that's not my target. That's just the worst case scenario. I'm looking at it, considering the possibility of it. I have my eyes open wide, looking for that possibility, so that way I know that I can protect my position, and set stop losses. I mean, you're going to set stop losses on every trade, but I'm just saying, there are people out there that are talking about really low prices. I mean, there are people talking about $20,000 Bitcoin. We have our eyes on $30,000 Bitcoin, maybe $29,000 Bitcoin, a little peak below. I think that's going to push Litecoin down to $90, $80, guys. And I've been talking about, that's like where I've placed my bids days ago. And you know, I talked about my strategy for placing those bids in that live stream. So just go back and check it out. It's the LTC sub 100 video. So check that out. I talk all about that in detail, so I won't repeat it in this one. We're just going to go over some things, because this is a danger zone for Litecoin. And you know, we're prepared for it. We're looking at everything. It's okay that we're in this danger zone. And I didn't even want to call it a danger zone, but I had to do it for YouTube because of the thumbnail image. And, you know, that's, unfortunately, that's how you get people to find you on YouTube, is posting thumbnails like that. So, but I've been talking about this, and this is why I'm sitting out and staying patient. And it's, you know, as a newer trader, it's one of the hardest things to do. I mean, I remember going years ago, years back, 2017, just trading, and just, it's so hard, guys, to resist the emotion. And it's not even the emotion, it's just being able to ignore the market for a little bit and let it do its thing, and to look for obvious signals and just ignore everything else. All these little moves, all this stuff like that, you just gotta ignore it. And that's the hardest thing. So anyway, I'm going to check some comments. If you guys are going to throw some comments down, see what we got. Okay, we got more viewers coming in. I'm happy to answer any questions for you, and I will say that not much has changed as far as my targets. They remain $90 to $80, and I'll talk about this danger possibility in a second. All right, you guys remember when I was talking about Litecoin trading under $100 for any period of time, could signal a bear market for Litecoin, which would greatly increase the possibility for $50 as far as the price target, as far as I'm concerned, if we started trading below that level. I want to see us break 100, maybe come down $90, $80, and then quickly V-bottom right back up to the $100 level. And I would, the longer we sit below $100, the more $100 is going to be resistance. It'll then become, we'll have to test that, and hopefully that V-bottom is so strong, bulls come in with a momentum, we push right back over it. Not the end of the world. But we've been consolidating a little bit here, not getting much of a relief bounce. And the more we sit here and face rejection, and the harder the time bulls have to set a hourly or 4-hour uptrend, proven to be more difficult, we're just going to see a quick flush down. Now, that's what we have to hope for. And that's where I'm going to have my bids placed. And if we come up to $100 and we can't get above it, I'll be scaling out of my out of my laddered bids at that point, and just having some capital on the side to be able to enter should we find ourselves $70, $60, $50. Because I don't see how we will flash below $80 in one straight move without a relief bounce to at least tag 100 if the bears were going to continue to maintain this strong downtrend. All right. When the reversal happens, what do you see as top price targets when it changes to a bull run? Crazy numbers are being thrown from 800 to 531. I talked about this in every stream to some extent. Someone asks a question about price targets. Should we find the bottom? The problem with targeting that is, one, we don't know if or when we're going to establish a weekly uptrend again. And without having a weekly uptrend, there's nothing to base targets on. You know, we can zoom out, and I know what some of these people, and I'm going to do it just so I can explain to you what these people are doing. We zoom out to the monthly chart on Litecoin. Let's go right here. This is the chart I was looking at. All right, we zoom out to the monthly chart on Litecoin. Could you base a target off the monthly chart? Provided we bounce here, and this is a confirmed bull flag. Yes, we could place a target on it, but a lot can happen between said breakout of bull flag and by the time we may get there. We might get halfway there and find our top, come back down, lose 272, and now we're in a monthly downtrend, and we never get to that target. I mean, you know, the problem is so much happens in the long term. Long term, Litecoin will eventually hit several $1,000s. Eventually, at some point, right? With high probability. But putting a target on it is hard because there's a lot of news events. There could be regulatory stuff. I mean, there's so much that can happen in a long-term chart that you really can't place a target on it just because you're in a channel, you have a trend line, yada yada. So those long-term targets that you guys are all seeing, take them with a really small grain of salt. As far as I'm concerned, it's irrelevant because you're going to zoom in, you're going to follow the lower time frames. And what I mean by lower time frames, I mean the daily and the weekly, because that's what we're talking about. We're talking about longer term price targets. We want to maintain those daily uptrends, those weekly uptrends. And that's where you're going to look for your signals. You're going to see how news events will impact the daily uptrend, the weekly uptrend or downtrend. I mean, it's much easier to follow the market there than it is looking at a monthly, because guys, we've seen it in the past. We've seen people call several $1,000 Litecoin by the end of 2021, way back over the summer or in spring. And where are we right now? And they're basing those targets off of these high time frame charts. Nothing is guaranteed. And when you look at the daily chart and the weekly chart, that analysis is much more accurate. It's, you know, closer to the present. And in trading and market analysis, we're analyzing the present. You know, you're never 100%. It's really how you set your stop losses, you know, how you assess risk to reward, and how well you are at reading the charts and identifying signals that the charts give you. That's going to dictate how good of a trader you are, whether it's day trading or swing trading, because, you know, I think hodling is great, you know, if you're going to hold it for several years. But I think you should all kind of understand the market a little bit and identifying that, because it's nice to know the cycle top and the cycle bottom. Those are really the two most important things you need to do. No, if you want to hodl and sell and then you have the ability to stay patient, you could just ride the cycles and not be holding a bag and giving all your money back. And you could do that on a monthly chart, but don't follow the monthly chart based on someone's target and their analysis. Follow the monthly chart by understanding that we're holding an uptrend. It's that simple. You know, if we keep holding an uptrend on a monthly chart, stay in the game. We lose a monthly uptrend, get out. I think that's like the easiest, most valuable piece of information. I think I said in a live stream, that would be the easiest thing for you guys to do. And if you guys have questions, if you want me to make a video on that, I mean, I do have a video on my page here, but it's old and I would like to update it on uptrends, downtrends, and stuff like that. But if you guys want me to go in detail on that very basic, helpful stuff, I will do a different video dedicated to that. Just throw it in the comments or something that you would be interested in that, or smash the like button on this video and subscribe, and also the notification bell, because that's how you'll get notified when I'm about to do a live stream, because I primarily only do live streams on this. So that would be awesome, guys. I'd really appreciate it. And yeah, so any questions, guys, happy to answer them. It's not going to be a super long live stream. It's just what I'm going to be looking for. I mean, we can go back into the Litecoin chart here a little bit and zoom in, just see what's happening right now. Check out the hourly. Okay. All right, 4 hour. You know, someone commented earlier saying, you know, I posted, and we'll just rewind a little bit to yesterday, just to recap on Litecoin. So, you know, we had this pattern here, which I said could be a double top, forming an ascending triangle. We broke out, right? Bulls were a little happy when this happened. This was 1:19 in the morning last night, technically today, Eastern time, when I did that, when I screenshotted this. And we had no follow through. We had almost no volume. See, we had less volume here than we did over here. And then we had this candle, and then I was like, okay, zoom out, because that's what you do. You play the zoom out game when you can't follow a chart. It's not clean, it's choppy, it's, you know, you gotta zoom out. And so I zoomed out, and what do we have here on the 3 hour chart? We have a rising wedge pattern. Okay, so we got rising wedge pattern, bulls are losing steam, and scroll up. We'll actually go to the chart and go to Bitcoin. So let's go to that 3 hour that I was actually showing you, because we had a little bit of a anomaly. What happened? We ended up breaking up out of it and invalidating the original drawing that I had. But technically, you know, you make that minor adjustment, there you go, still got a rising wedge. See, the charts are always changing. That's why you can't put that much value into diagonals, horizontals. You always put the most weight in horizontals. If a pattern is adhering to those diagonals, sure, put a little bit more weight into it, but you're always gonna focus on your horizontal levels. And at 38,163, we pretty much had the bottom of this little spot right here, guys, and that's pretty much where we hit, and then boom, we rejected off that level. And then, you know, you draw this and it looks a lot better. So, you know, just giving you guys a little bit of input on things that I look for, how I look for them. So I did say earlier in the stream, Bitcoin would need to really set a higher low here for any chance for the bulls to turn this into a 3 hour uptrend on this chart and break above this level. I don't think that's going to happen. I just don't, but it's something we're gonna look for, because if we got the confirmation, then we can make some entries. We have levels to base our entries on, our stop limits, our risk. Most important thing is assessing your risk, knowing exactly how much you can lose, and you base them off those levels so you can protect yourself. That's pretty much it. So yeah, guys, I mean, I think we're gonna come right down. You know, we might see a little bit of relief bounces, but anything that's small like this, guys, and you start seeing some wicks and just more bear pressure, don't get too optimistic. It's just so much better to stay patient. And you know what I mean, if for some reason we know the odds are less than 50% that we'll get a bounce here, we know the bears maintain control, we know we broke a rising wedge, and we couldn't even get close to that $40,000 level, the bears maintain absolute control. So I mean, I'm kind of losing my train of thought of where I was going to go with this, but I would rather have it bounce, set a higher low, and then enter right here. Sure, we missed the bottom if this happens. So what? The market is always going up and down. It's always going to. So if you're a trader, don't think with that mentality of missing opportunities, because there's always opportunities. Yeah, so that definitely helps a lot. I know when I was a new trader, I'd miss the bottom and whatever, I'd get all upset. I'd be trying to chase a position without much thought being put into that trading plan, and that's how newer traders get wrecked. Is they're always it's greed, it's emotion. It's thinking that, you know, oh, well, I want to sit there and I wanted to ride this to new all-time highs. So get that out of your head, the all-time high thing, all those crazy targets, because I think a lot of people put that in their head and they want to hit that bottom, and they'll go in there, they'll open up their calculator, they'll be like, oh, how much money will I have when it hits all-time high, multiply by how many coins I have in my portfolio. Like, I mean, I don't know how many people do that, but I feel like a lot of people getting new into trading, you know, they think like that and they get all hyped up, and that's terrible, guys. Absolutely terrible thing to do when you're in this game. So yeah, I think covered enough stuff. It's been a short stream. It's kind of a short stream. We're like 20 minutes or whatever in. Let me just look at some of the comments. All right, those are good up your bags. I sold 130, bought 102, sold 116, and now wait for the low 90s. If I close a little later, I'd be up a little over 50% in short time. Nice. This is similarities to April 2020. If the stock market crashes, how will this affect BTC LTC? Well, let's pull up the LTC BTC chart, and we'll zoom out to like the 12-hour. So turn this log view off. We're losing support, guys. So let's just zoom out. I want to zoom out to the weekly real quick. I want to double check this bottom trend line. I want to make sure we have a nice clean, okay, touch. That's our bottom trend line, right? Okay, let's zoom in to the 12-hour and look at this support that we're breaking. We got this little bit right here, this little wick. We're hanging on a string right now. Okay, if Bitcoin dumps hard, I'm not talking just 30,000. I'm saying maybe if we get into the high 20s and LTC BTC continues to break, there's a lot of downside potential here, guys. And this is what I was talking about in the worst case scenario, where Litecoin breaks down from here and tags that bottom trend line, which puts us at a 30% drop on top of Bitcoin's drop. And that's how you get to like $50. Now, it doesn't have to fall down to this trend line. Maybe we go halfway. Maybe we go a third of the way. But a lot of people would be targeting the lower trend line because there's no other support underneath it at all. There's nothing to base a bounce. So that's what you'd be looking at. But you know, usually what you want, you don't get in crypto. So we might not hit it. Maybe we come 5% short of it. Or maybe we get halfway. Who knows? I'm just saying, this is how $50 Litecoin can happen, for sure. But that's not what I am expecting. But that was not directly answering his question. He was, you know, asking about the stock market, and I don't think the LTC BTC will be impacted as much by the stock market as their USD values. I mean, you know, Bitcoin will drop just like Litecoin will drop. The whole market will drop, most likely. I mean, it's highly correlated to the stock market right now, guys. So you know, if the stock market does take a dive, which it already is, but if this proves to just be a little, you know, a little relief bounce, you know, we reject off this EMA, you know, it's possible we could set a higher low and then jump up tomorrow and then come down, or we could just open up tomorrow and just be at a new low. That'll, you know, we'll probably see what happens with Bitcoin tonight. Maybe we'll get a little bit of an idea of how the market's feeling. You know, maybe we could see something happen tonight, or maybe we'll see it in the morning. So we're watching that. You got to consider that. But yeah, guys. So what am I doing? I'm sitting patient, because patience is so important. I think it's the number one thing that I talk about on this page, and I think a lot of you guys know that. And you know, I feel like, I like to think I'm helping a lot of people sit back and be a little bit more patient, observe, don't you know, resist the emotions and the greed and the feeling of trying to catch a bottom, and you know, tell yourself why it's not important to catch a bottom, why it really doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things. We're gonna be patient. We're gonna look for that confirmation. You know, and some people, see, I consider myself a little more of a conservative trader, because I really take risk into play, my calculations. And you know, there's traders that are good at nailing bottoms. And you know, if you are really good at doing that, by all means, do it. You know, Charting Man Dan, the chart guys, amazing guy. You know, check him out on Twitter, because he's on YouTube and has his own website. Has been trading since before the 2017 rally. I mean, he's been around for a while. He has a lot to offer, and so much you can learn from him, because you know, you see some analysts on here, guys, and they got a million lines on their chart. They got 20 like indicators. I mean, there's just shit all over their screen. And there's a point, guys, where trading is like, you intentionally make it more complicated for yourself by having to look at all these different indicators. See, that's why I don't use all these indicators. I mean, you know, if I was going to add an indicator, something that might be useful, I'd probably say, you know, maybe the Bollinger Bands. You know, Big Cheds is a big fan of Bollinger Bands. But I just use EMA, I use RSI, I analyze the volume, I analyze the trend, analyze support and resistance, and I just try to, you know, mold my thinking into a certain way, you know, with how the market is feeling and not how I'm feeling, and just, you know, remembering that every time. So I hope that's helping you guys a little bit. I like to throw in a little bit of like educational, you know, tips and things like that, you know. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you guys for all you tuning in. Any other final questions before we wrap up at the end of the night? I don't know if there's anything else. Yeah, I was going to talk about this real quick. I did post this on Twitter, F-Line Cryptos. If you're tuning in from YouTube, you know, not too long ago, 6:45, I said 4-hour double top. Remember those ladder bids from a few days ago live stream? And it's not a confirmed double top yet, and I did put that here in the comments, and I see more people like that than the post, so it's very important that I put that in there. It's not validated, it's not confirmed double top, but I said, you know, that wick we had right here really put high odds in favors of the bears. And, you know, as you can tell, we're starting to get that follow through. Starting to see that volume increase. We got an hour and 28 minutes left on this 4-hour candle, and that's a lot of time for this volume to pick up more than the previous candle. We're really getting that breakdown, really getting that follow through. You know, we get that, and this candle will be the one to confirm it in my eyes, because we lose this level here, the 105 70s, where we had some wicks and support right here in this region, and that will confirm double top, which will increase the odds more that we do see this happen tonight or going into tomorrow or tomorrow morning. The odds will greatly increase that we just flush down into the towards $90, possibly $80. You know, and that can all happen pretty quickly. Let's just look at that for a quick minute. How much of a drop would that be? Should we get that, say, $80? What would that be from here? That would be an additional 22%. It is a lot. We're going to look at Bitcoin here, and we're going to target our $30,000, $29,000 level. A psychological $30,000 level. Okay, that is 16%. It is not surprising to see Litecoin bleed an extra 4% if Bitcoin drops 16%. So absolutely be prepared. 29,000, 18%. Absolutely. That syncs up. LTC, BTC could move sideways, and Litecoin will be at $80. So, you know, keep that in mind. And, you know, Litecoin is trying to really hold. I mean, I guess you could say a little bit of the support that it has would be the bottom of that wick right there. So we'll just put that on the chart as a little reference. Maybe we can just kind of range here should that happen, and we get a nice market-wide bounce. So Mr. JSV650, hit the like, y'all. Yeah, guys, listen to him. Thanks so much. Appreciate it. Man, you know, I noticed in the live streams we're actually getting more people while the video's live nowadays, and I'm just happy that I'm able to help all you and give you all this information. I'm just drinking this. You know, I always have like a little drink when we're doing the live stream. This is called Minky Boodle, and it's not sponsored. If only if I was that famous, getting sponsored by beer companies. Raspberry sour ale. If you like sour ales, amazing. It's not like sugar. It's not like sugar water. It's not like super sweet. It's nice and tart. Pretty good. Anyway, and yeah, subscribe if you can. All right, so anyway, before I wrap up, I'll just let all you guys know, I say this once in every live stream. CryptoTies.com, because I know we're all fans of Litecoin, and I got the Litecoin watch from Carlos Estrada. I'm certainly going to be rocking the Litecoin ties. I might even have to like wear my pilot shirt again just for that. Maybe I'll wear a suit or something so you guys can like, I can really represent. Who knows? The little wings there, captain, whatever. Anyway, Litecoin ties are amazing, and they're at CryptoTies.com. They didn't drop yet, but to get notified of them when they drop, just put your email in the box there for email updates. Just scroll down at cryptoties.com and it'll notify you when the ties are available. But anyway, guys, that's pretty much it. Thank you so much. And I do this all for free. So if you do appreciate the analysis and you'd like to see videos more frequently, or if I helped you save money in this downtrend and all that good stuff, my Venmo is at Flying Cryptos and my Litecoin address is in the description of the video. And I don't charge for this stuff. I don't have a member program or anything like that. So really appreciate it. I love you guys. We're going to get ready to wrap this up. And I'm going to go full screen just for the people that did want to catch that. I don't know. Maybe you want to try it out. All right, guys. Thanks so much. We will see you later. And thanks for tuning in. Again, subscribe, notification bell so you get notified when the next live stream comes. And future live streams, I almost feel like I should throw a little bit of music in here. I know Big Cheds does that in his live streams, and he does a little dance in the beginning, and I don't know. I feel like that would be a much better way to start the live streams. You tell me. Throw it in the comments. All right, guys. Thanks so much. Have a good one.